that down, let's move on to this, shall we? Well, it's over. Daredevil Born Again is over. It was literally about, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong in the live chat, but I think it was literally like 5 years ago that I was at D23 in Anaheim when Kevin Feige came out on stage and announced that they were doing Daredevil Born Again. Daredevil was coming back. I think it was the exact same day they announced Moon Knight. And we ended up getting Moon Knight years ago. So it's been a long journey and a long wait to get the new Daredevil. But of course it debuted and now it's done. Last night was the finale. Now, overall, I think this show has been really successful. I think they did a great job on the show. By the way, guys, obviously I did not do a after show for Daredevil last night because I was off seeing The Accountant 2. We will be doing our Daredevil Born Again season finale after show tonight. So guys, and that'll be full open spoiler discussion. Feel free to come back and join me for that later. But tonight we're going to talk a little bit in generalities about the finale. Was it a hit or was it a miss? I'm going to say something that might surprise you. I was lukewarm on the finale. And the reason I was lukewarm on the finale was this. On the one hand, had some terrific action sequences. I mean, we saw the stills. We knew that John Bernthal and Punisher was going to be a part of the finale. And sure enough, he was. There were some excellent action sequences. Like some really, really good stuff. A couple of pretty good, oh my God moments were in there too. But here's the thing that kind of took a lot of the wind out of my sails on the other hand, which was nothing really got resolved in the season finale. And when the finale was done, I was left with this sense of, so the whole purpose of this season was nothing but to set up next season. That was the whole reason we did this season, was just to set up next season. And to me, that's a little frustrating when a show does that. You know, I referenced Supernatural a little while ago. Supernatural had a wonderful formula, which was basically this. Every season had its own story. And when they got to the season finale, they would wrap up that story while also opening up the door for what the next season was going to be. It killed two birds with one stone. And I think a bit of my lackluster reaction, I guess, to last night's episode. Again, I didn't dislike it. There was a lot of really, really good things in it. I just felt like it didn't kind of nail the landing I was hoping, because the finale should give you a sense of what the season was for. And I didn't get any sense of what this season of Daredevil was for, other than just to set up next season. And that left me a little bit frustrated. Still, for me, overall, terrific season of television. I think they got very, very close to the Netflix Daredevil. I thought they did a great job. I enjoyed, there wasn't a single episode I didn't enjoy. Some I liked more than others, but overall I thought they did a great job. I just wish they gave this season its own sense of identity and gave it kind of a purpose. But that was kind of my take on it. Anyway, Chris, you had a chance to see the Daredevil Born Again finale last night. Mm-hmm. How did you feel with the finale, and how did you feel about the season as a whole now that it's all done and in our rearview mirror?
You know, I'm a little like you in that I wish some more things happened in this one to move things along and have something wrapped up for me. Just I wanted some kind of closure somewhere. But I mean, we talked about going into this. It makes me want to watch a second season. I'm kind of in. I'm good. Especially because there is a reference in this episode that is 7 years in the making that explains why Wilson's not been in prison, what's all been going on. It's a great name drop moment. It's a kind of blink if you'll miss it that I think really pays off beautifully. I think that they set up some really great stuff for the second season. Old friends, new friends. I'm trying to figure out how I can talk about this without spoiling things for people. Having a real rough time. One of the most disgusting practical effects I've ever seen in my life, or visual effects, happens in this episode that I both loved and hated.
In Matt's apartment?
No, not in Matt's apartment.
Okay. I'm trying to think of which.
How do you not know what I'm talking about?
Send ice.
Is it when Frank goes to that place?
It's when Fisk goes to that place.
Oh, yes.
I was like, let me communicate with my mind.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Is this melon ripe? Yes.
It was so violent and bananas, and the fact that they achieved that in such a realistic way was so jarring.
And they used bananas, oddly enough.
And you could say there was eye violence.
There, you could, and there was a lot of good old Chrissy Carr watching like this. It's a really great season of television, though. They should be really proud of what they've done.
I agree.
Are there a few little like missteps along the way? Yes. Some of the CGI is weird. We don't need CGI parkour Daredevil. Sometimes there's certain moments that look very almost soap opera lighting, but that's just
The Dev in the live
nitpicking.
chat is saying, by the way, a quick note, that was a practical effect.
Yeah.
Well,
For
that's
those of you who saw the show, you know what it
really,
means.
really well done. It's a good season. It's a good episode. I do just wish that I had something concrete happen in this season that made me go, oh, this answers this question that was set up here a little bit more. I was left wanting, but maybe that's what you want to do with a season finale.
I will say this. There's a moment in the show, and I won't say where, but you know what frustrates me in TV? When they make the bad guys like inexplicably dumb. Inexplicably dumb. Do you remember that scene in Spaceballs
Yes.
where every scene of Spaceballs,
Literally,
Yeah.
yes.
but when Dark Helmet and Lone Star are having their fight and they have that little break, and Dark Helmet's like, you know what? Let's fight fair. Put her there. And he
Yeah.
goes in to shake his hand. There's a moment like that in the episode last night that is just like, no bad guy would be that stupid.
can't believe you fell for
Oh my God, man. I can't believe you fell for it. The spirit of Rick Moranis. There's just a moment in the show. I'm like, no human being would be that stupid. Like none of them would. It was like from a Bugs Bunny cartoon. Anyway. Again, there's still a lot of stuff in it. Rob, to you saw the finale. So 2 questions is number 1, what did you think about the episode as a finale? But then number 2, now that we've got the whole season in the books, how did you feel about the season overall?
Okay, I like this episode. Like you guys, I felt that a lot of it was left unresolved, that I thought we would have more resolution, but it made me think about something. And I'd have to go back and look at this, but from what I understood, when they were originally making this new Daredevil show, it was supposed to be 18 episodes. That's what it was.
The original iteration of it,
Originally.
yeah.
So then they shot this show, and then they decided, because it was Matt Murdock and Kingpin and barely any Daredevil, they decided to retool whatever it was that they were going to retool. So this ending did not seem to me to be a season finale. It seemed like it was midway through the season. And that's kind of how because I'm like you were saying, the whole show is setting up the idea of mass vigilantes was talked about in the first episode. There's these mask and what's his face that died, Timberwolf. What's his name?
Tiger.
White Tiger.
Timberwolf.
So White Tiger, I know it's a legion of superheroes.
The Ricky Tiki Tacky
It's legion of superheroes, but so they talked about vigilantes, mass vigilantes, and now there's going to be an anti-vigilante squad and all that. It seems like what we're seeing and what we saw last night was to me a midway point through the season, and they've tried to make it seem like, as they've retooled it, they were always going to make 18 episodes, and I think with the retooling, they're like, no, we're going to split it into 2 seasons, and that's what it felt like to me. I mean, I really last night's episode was great. I mean, I really enjoyed it.
They did a lot of really good things.
There's a lot of cool
sure.
shit in it.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. Like there's the violence was amazing. Seeing Punisher, punishing.
Yep.
There was some great.
He's in the thumbnail. I think we can say that.
It was
Plus,
great. It was all good. But it felt to me like, and I felt this way the whole time. I'm like, this is an 18 episode show. This is not a first season. It's one long show, and they've had to split it into 2 seasons, and that's why they're already in production on season 2. I think they just decided to release it now instead of making it one long thing, because it seems why would you do that? Now break it into 2 9-episode seasons, and then we don't have to finish it all up. And that's how it felt to me, because everything that happened and everything they set up is still part of the same story. They have not resolved anything since the first episode of the show. It's the ongoing unfolding, and it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I like that.
Well, how did you feel about the season overall?
It's great. I mean, what is apparent to me is how they've built this has been meticulous and interesting to me. And I thought, like you said, it's a great season of TV. And I feel that they've really laid it out well. And that's why I'm even more excited for the back. I'm going to call it the back half, the back nine.
Here we go.
Because I think where they left it, I thought it was a pretty explosive ending, but there was no real resolution almost to anything. Some things, but almost nothing.
Yeah, I think
I
I'd
mean,
like it
there
more.
was some resolution to some people,
Yeah.
but there was no resolution to the overall story that has
There
been
was a
unfolding.
resolution to some people. I like, but I mean, and that I find that frustrating because, like, you look at Star Wars, right? Like, look at the original trilogy, right? Star Wars, Empire, Return of the Jedi, greatest films ever of all time. Period. End of sentence. Forever and ever. Hallelujah. So, but like, Star Wars has a definitive ending. There was a particular mission in that episode: destroy the Death Star.
Rescue
And
the
they do
princess,
it.
destroy the
The
Death Star.
overall story of Star Wars is not done, of course, and the Empire is not done, but still, that was that. Then in Empire, they have what ultimately becomes the thing is rescue Han and Leia. Okay, Luke find Dagobah and rescue Han and Leia, and they bring that to resolution. Part success, part failure. Then with Return of the Jedi, you have its own set of things. And I just kind of wish that when they retooled the series, and again, I'm only talking about the finale now.
Yeah.
Because overall, I think the season was great. I do kind of wish when they retooled it in such a way that, like Star Wars Episode 4, that it came to, like, some big thing came to a conclusion as they get ready to go into season 2 for the next stage of the battle. I kind of wish they did that. But again, several elements of it were just so fun. The Matt apartment scene was incredible. The Punisher scene was absolutely incredible. The face-to-face meeting between Fisk and somebody was amazing. I love every moment of Wilson and Vanessa this entire series. And there's a moment that happens in this episode, and I'll give the line of dialogue, but I won't give you context for those of you who haven't seen it yet. That is just amazing. It re-emphasized that throughout all of the Daredevil stuff on Netflix and here, Wilson Fisk's main superpower is information. And that always comes into play, whether it's Baby Soprano talking to the city council, or when there finally he just has another moment. This is the second time he's had this moment with Vanessa. Vanessa, I know. That's it. That's all I had to say. And then I love, like, Vanessa's reactions. Like, of course you know. Like, of course you do.
Well, isn't my husband just a scamp?
Oh God. Like,
Oh,
that
my
entire, I will say
goodness.
this, that entire finale is one big long Vanessa wet dream. Because that's everything was exactly what Vanessa wanted, sort of thing. Like, in my interpretation of it, at any rate. But I mean, that was the key. That kind of showed the key that at the end of the day, that's his main thing. It also raises questions, though, because that couldn't happen. What ultimately is going on in New York, that couldn't happen. That just simply could not happen. And they're like, how are they going to deal with that going into Thunderbolts, where a bunch of Thunderbolts does take place in New York City?
Well, must just take place at a different time.
Maybe, or are they kind of... Remember there was some talk a year or two ago that they might actually take Disney Plus and kind of start segregating it a little bit from the theatrical.
I mean, what happened in New York's a big deal.
Yeah,
Like, it's
pretty
a big deal. And you're like, okay, well, I wonder if they're going to make, I don't think Thunderbolts takes place concurrently with this season of Daredevil.
Thunderbolts, I think, gets away with it because they're essentially government operatives, from what we can understand. I mean, the Avengers are government-sanctioned operatives, and then it's like, well, we made one giant Sentry Avenger. Oops, that messed up. Here's more operatives. So I think they get away with that because they're not considered vigilantes.
You know, there's a lot of boroughs in New York. Maybe they just go to a different one.
Yeah, it's a big
You
place.
know.
New York's a big place. But again, overall, I thought the finale, I'll be straight up, I thought overall I didn't like the way the season resolved. But
Yeah, because there isn't a resolution.
Yeah,
There's just not a resolution. They're in the middle of a
season-
story.
Yeah, and again, to me, by the time it was done, it just felt like so. This whole season was just about setting up next season. Still, the season was an incredible watch. Like I've enjoyed this 6 week long. Well, it hasn't been. It's been 7 weeks. The 7 week long journey of watching these 9 episodes. I just thought it was an excellent swing at the plate. I think they did a really good job. I think they did the name Daredevil proud. I think they did the legacy of the Netflix series proud. Again, I wish they structured it a little bit differently, but overall, it's a win. Guys, question is for you. What did you think about the finale of Daredevil Born Again, but also as the season as a whole? I thought it was a big win for them. Especially, and Netflix really needed it. Not Netflix, Disney Plus really needed it because let's face it, their Marvel stuff on Disney Plus is hit and miss. And I thought this one was a big hit. Whatever you guys thought, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.